Servus and hello. My name is Fireball313 and welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Game. You guys know I love retail games, and so again I show you some of the finest, or maybe not, on the retail market. The first one is a bundle and a hidden gem also, and that is the Playlink Bundle for the PlayStation 4. This one came out in 2017 for a price of €60, and for this €60, you got 4 games. Of course, it was possible to buy them separately, but if you had a small budget, this was quite attractive. When I found this, by coincidence, in an electronics store in Bavaria, I didn't know anything about Playlink. The only name what I knew was Singstar, of course. And I was quite curious, what is it about? So a small Google search gave me already some information, but what really convinced me to buy this bundle was the price, because I paid for this copy sealed €10. So for that price, you can do nothing wrong in this case. So I thought, why not? Just buy this. I mean, these are 4 games, and my girlfriend always loved Singstar, so at least I thought I can do nothing wrong with that. And when I installed this and I started to dig into the gameplay and behind the idea of the Playlink feature, I was really convinced that is actually quite an interesting way how to play video games. First, some information about Playlink. That is actually an idea more for the casual people who don't want to use a controller, Because all of these games, you don't use a controller in this case. You connect your cell phone, your smartphone, or your tablet with the local Wi-Fi, and that connects then with your PlayStation 4. And then you use your smart device as a controller. And soon I show some stuff in this case. And I thought this is a nice idea. So, because let's say my parents are 70 years old, and they are not this kind of people who likes to have a controller in the hand, but they use smart devices quite often, and that is appealing for everybody in this case. So yeah, and with every game, actually, there came a small flyer with this one. This is from That's You. And that was quite easy. You install the game, on your PlayStation. Then it depends, of course, if you use Apple or Android. You go to the Google Play Store or the App Store, and you download the app from That's You, and you install it, actually. You connect your cell phone with the Wi-Fi. Then you open the app. That's You in this case, and then you connect already with the PlayStation 4, and then you can play this. Depends on the game, you can play this with 4 people, with 8 people. Soon I will talk about that. So this flyer is quite straightforward and very, very easy to install. So there is no science behind that. And this is a good thing also, because most casual players have no clue about really how a lot of stuff works. So they want to have it as easy as possible. And with the Playlink games, Sony really delivered in this case. Yes. So, what do we get in this bundle? We get actually Hidden Agenda. This is a quite fascinating games from Supermassive Games. Then we get Knowledge is Power. This is a quiz game. Then we get Singstar Celebration. That is, of course, a karaoke game. And then That's You. That is a party game also. Here on the side of the package, you get some screenshots here. Yeah, of course, that is quite important. The smartphone, use your smartphone as your controller, it says. And here it says, everybody can play with you. We present you Playlink, a new collection of multiplayer games for everybody. So you can use this with your smartphone and your tablet and blah, 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 blah. So here's some information about the 4 games, and that is quite important here. It says you need at least an iOS, Android device, and to have the best experience, you need at least iOS 9 Plus or Android 4.4. And they even say not all cell phones or tablets are compatible. So if you want some more information, there is a website here about that. In this case, here at home, I use always Android. My parents had some Apple devices and we didn't have any kind of problems in this case. There is unfortunately one catch because Sony didn't update their apps for these games. So if you have a new device, I mean a new update, what doesn't support these games anymore, it will not work. Maybe there is a workaround about that. I couldn't find anything in this case. So, and that is a little shame, I think. Besides that, the Playlink doesn't work on the PlayStation 5. I tried this once and the cell phones, the smart devices didn't want to connect with the console. So, and that is quite important in this case. So if you want to run this, really, you need an older version of Android or Apple iOS. Yes. But these 4 games are really, really fascinating. And I want to talk about that. So I open this now and I will take them out and then I show you the 4 games. And we start with, let me think, what we take. That's You. Yes, that is the package of That's You. Nothing special in this case about that. That is really a party game for 6 people. And that is quite funny. You play this with, I think I told this already. We are with 6 people. Sorry. And if you have close friends, this is really funny because you must, the goal of this game is actually to rate the personality of your friends. And you do a lot of funny mini games, you know, you must do some selfies, you must paint some stuff, you must answer some questions about your friends and things who are sitting next to you. So this is really, really funny. And yeah, I mean, the package is nothing extraordinary in this case. You get this flyer here, you know, how you install the stuff. So that's it. So this is really an awesome party game, and this is recommended really for everybody, really for everybody. And even I played this with small children. They had a lot of fun. I played this with people in my age and people, yeah, who are older, 70 plus, so like my parents. And yeah, so even my father, who is very, very serious, started to laugh like crazy, you know. So yeah, it's really, really recommended. Then, let me see. We have, where is it? Hidden Agenda, and that is an action adventure from Supermassive Games. And this is, yeah, like an interactive movie. And there you must find a serial killer. And you can play this with 6 people. Also, I think, yes, it says with 6 people. And you must make a lot of choices in your group, actually. Because sometimes there are some ranging paths and you must make some decisions. But before you make decisions to change the storyline, you must talk with your people around you which direction you want to go. Because it's really hard to find out who is the murderer. And I must admit, when we played this for the first time, the murderer escaped and technically we lost. And that was really, how to say, in this case, a little bit frustrated because I knew who was the murderer, but my girlfriend was not convinced and she decided differently. So the murderer escaped and we lost the game. Phew. Yeah. So, yeah, so this is more or less an interactive movie with a lot of separate ways what you can make, different endings, and you can, because of your decisions, you can change the outcome of the story, and that is really nice. Unfortunately, compared to the other games you play, if you know the murderer, you play this only one time. And I mean, it's really fascinating and it's really capturing you, you know, with the atmosphere and the way how it got presented. But yeah, this is like the Sixth Sense, you know, this is an experience for only one time. But this one time is really awesome. Yes. Then we have Knowledge is Power. In this case, this is the German version. Wissen ist Macht, knowledge is power. And that is a typical quiz game, actually, with trivia questions. You can play this with 6 people. Before that, you choose an avatar. You give the avatar some personal, you make a screen, you make a selfie of yourself, and you use an avatar, and that creates an image of you with this avatar on the screen. Yeah, and then you have a lot of random questions what you must ask. For example, when got America discovered, and some other stuff. Really, a lot of topics are really presented there about music, politics, history. Yeah, that is an awesome quiz game. You can play this for a long time, because there's a huge variety. Oh, by the way, no, it's 6 games. Okay, I thought it was 4 games. Yeah, so and that is an awesome game also. Yeah, so this is recommended. And the last one in the bundle is a very famous one, that is Singstar. And in this case, Singstar Celebration. Here you get 40 songs, and because this is the German version, you have even some German singer bands, stuff like that. So besides that, there's some international music like Dancing Queen from ABBA, from Adele is Hello, Amy Winehouse is Rehab, stuff like that. So 30 songs. You can download more songs through the PlayStation Store. That is another thing, actually. And here you don't use microphones. Here you use the cell phone, the microphone of your cell phone as a microphone. And then you can see, actually, when you use this, your cell phone or your tablet, as a microphone, you see then actually there's an image here. And this looks so stupid when you have a tablet, And it really works. It works really good, but it looks stupid. It looks really stupid because I knew Singstar from the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 era, and that came out. In this period, you had still some microphones. And this really was part of the experience. And now you must use your cell phone. This looks so ridiculous, I think. So, when this is, you can laugh about that. When everybody has a cell phone and everybody screams and sings in their cell phones, this is quite, funny to see, actually. By the way, you can play this with a maximum of 8 people, I see. I didn't know that. And hey, this is quite interesting, and it's compatible with the Singstar microphone. Oh, that is cool. I didn't know that. So if you don't want to use your cell phone, just use the microphones. Or if you don't want, if you don't have any microphones, you can buy them, of course, separately. Yeah. What is a negative thing about the Playlink games? Besides that, Sony didn't update them anymore. There's only one thing what bothers me is for every of these games you must download one app. And I think it would be smarter if you had one big app and then all these games are in this app, So you have just a hub, actually, a app what use you as hub, and then you choose Singstar or maybe Knowledge is Power, stuff like that. That would be more easygoing, I think. But this is my opinion. But if you guys see this out in the wild and you want some really funny party games, go for that. You can do nothing wrong, in this case. And just gather some friends and some family, and you will have a lot of fun. Yeah. Game number 2 is, at least for me, one of the all-time classics on the PlayStation 3, and that is Infamous from Sucker Punch Studio. That is the same studio who are famous for the Sly Raccoon series on the PlayStation 2. This game came out in, I think, the summer of 2009, and it's basically a hero game. On the market, at the same time, Activision released a game what was quite similar like Infamous. It was a superhero game also, and that called Prototype. So when you saw video game magazines and websites, the editors compare these both games actually with each other. I played both of them, and at the end, I must admit, Infamous was the game what was more suitable for me, and that had many reasons. First, I mean, both games have an open world scenario with a lot of side missions. You could gain a lot of special abilities, superpowers. You had a small morale system, yes. But at the end, Infamous was for me more suitable because of the presentation. Prototype was more gritty. Infamous is more like a Marvel movie, what you just play by yourself. And besides that, the storyline was really intriguing. Basically, you play a delivery guy. His name is Cole. Soon you see a better picture of him. He delivers an EMP bomb into a city, what he doesn't know. And because of the explosion, he gains the power to manipulate electricity. And and then he wants to find out who made who is responsible for the EMP blast. And the story starts very slowly, but at the end you have a huge story twist. It's a little bit like with The Sixth Sense. First, in the beginning, you have a certain look at the storyline and you believe everything is just like that. And then this story changed completely, and then you think like, what the fuck? Really, what the fuck, you know? And that was a huge surprise at the end. Just if you want to have an interesting storyline with a huge twist at the end, then Infamous is your thing. Yeah. Like I said, this is a hero game, and it plays in an open world. And this has a morality system. Sucker Punch called this a karma system, because you could choose if you want to be a superhero or a super villain in this case, and it depends how you react with the environment. For example, if you save people, of course, people start to like you, and so you get more positive feedback from them. Of course, if you kill people or do some really evil stuff, people are afraid and the police is chasing you. So this was quite innovative back then. I mean, if you look at of today, this is quite black and white, because you had just to be a good guy or a bad guy. There was not a between in this case. But besides that, yeah, problem, let's call it problem, because it was a little bit too black and white, was this game really amazing in so many ways, actually. Yes. But let's talk about the special edition, because I knew this game would be already awesome. I read a lot of reviews and I wanted to have it. And for me then, I had the chance to get the special edition, and it was actually at the same price like the standard version. So I thought, you know what, I want the special edition because you get a little bit more stuff for your money. The value back then was just the full price, was, let me think, 60, 70 euro back then. The value of this one in this condition is around 20 euros. So if you want to have this in collection just because of the special edition, it's not really expensive. Yeah, but what I like already about the special edition is the way how it got presented. Like, because it's a superhero game, it's really presented like a comic book. And I really like that. So you have this paper sleeve, and this is the front, and this is the back. This is Cole, actually, the main protagonist. He's quite likable, actually, if you compare it with the main protagonist of Prototype. Because the main protagonist of Prototype is really, yeah, he's very, very shallow, I must admit. Yeah, so if you want to open the special edition, you just take this out like that. And then you have this booklet, and this looks really cool. This is cool, by the way. And this is the front of it, and this is the back. And I think this looks really cool. It has a glossy finish. Looks very high quality, I think. And when you open it like that, let me take the manual out. You have some scenes from the game. I like that, really. That starts already the mood, like, you know what, I play a superhero game, you know. So yeah, and when you open it like this, wait, let me take this out also. This is the inside of the special edition. Wait. And that looks really, really cool. Yeah, so besides the packaging, you get, I mean, yes, the game, nothing special about that in this case, on a Blu-ray. Then you get, yeah, back then we still had a manual. You don't believe that? A real manual. Oh, you know, I really miss that. A game with a good manual. And in this case, the manual is in several languages, in German, Dutch, and stuff like that. And it tells you a little bit about, the storyline. And it tells you about the main protagonist, some of your friends, you know, yeah, and how you play the game, how you use your power. In the beginning, the controls are a little bit overwhelming, but because the missions are really so structured that you learn everything step by step. And if you still have a problem, you can use this manual, and this really helps you, you know, how you use the minimap, how you do certain stuff, you know, how you climb, how you use the karma system, stuff like that. So yeah, this manual is quite good, I must admit. Besides that, you get some digital stuff. I'm not a fan of that, but in this case, yeah, you get some stuff like special abilities. You know, you use this code, download code, and then you get, let me see what it says. You get a special ability, what is exclusive with this version. You get a special outfit. And yeah, you know, I must really admit, I don't like this kind of stuff in this case. You know, if I buy a special edition, I want something physical, you know, but I can touch, like an art book, soundtrack CD. Yeah. And in this case, Sucker Punch really delivered in this case, because we get a small art book. This art book is like a manual. It has the same size. It's a little bit smaller. And it shows some stuff from the game, you know, some concept art. So this is Cole with one of his superpowers. Here's Cole with his friend Zeke. I don't remember her name actually, but I think she's a reporter or something. No, a medic is she, yeah, I remember, yes. So I think if I look at the artworks, it has really this kind of Marvel feel to me, yeah. And besides that, Cole looks really badass. Later in the game, when you have a lot of special powers, you can really feel like a god. You know, you can lift up cars and things. You can glide through the air. You really feel like something like a real superhero actually. So yeah. And back then, the open world was quite fascinating. I mean, you had a lot of people, really convincing traffic. People really reacted to you. You could just stand there and sit and listen to the people. You saw televisions running in the backgrounds, radio stations, stuff like that. Yeah, that was really authentic, at least for 2009. And that is one of the prisons what you can free, because what was the city called? Empire City. Empire City is divided into sectors, and you can liberate special places, and then you liberate the area, stuff like that. Yeah. I love always this kind of concept arts, to see, you know, the original idea from the game, from a piece of paper to the video game. So yeah. So as a collector's edition or special edition in this case, this is a nice piece. And besides that, if you just want to play the game, this is an awesome game also. You know, of course, if you look back now, and I mean, we are in the year 2024. If you compare it now with the standard of today, of course, it's a little bit outdated. But just because of the storyline, this is still an awesome game, and it's, at least for me, recommended. Yeah. Game number 3 is the successor of the first Infamous, and that is Infamous 2 for the PlayStation 3, what came out in 2011. That game got still developed by Sucker Punch, and this one continues the storyline of the first game. If I want to make a comparison about the quality of the storyline, I must admit the first part was way better because it had this wow factor at the end. You don't have this with the second part. I mean, depends on your decisions. You can have a good and a bad ending. But besides that, I was a little bit disappointed. But on many things, what was an issue with the first game, Sucker Punch really redefined things like the game mechanics, the open world, the story, no, not the mission structure, and the graphics. But I must admit, it is still an awesome game, but on a very, very high level. But compared with the first one, I like the first one way more. Yes, you still have this morality system that you can choose, depends on your action, if you want to be a good and a bad guy, you know, and that is still black and white, so there is no gray area in this case. Yeah, if you want to have a lot of fun in open world and you like superhero games, Infamous 2 is an awesome piece. Actually, you can do nothing wrong about that. Yes, let's talk about the special edition. When I ordered it, I hoped actually the same value like the first one, you know, with an art book, stuff like that. And here I got a little bit disappointed also. The presentation is almost the same, that is represented like a comic, but you miss some stuff, you guys see it. First, you get a plastic sleeve, and that is really solid, not a crap like the Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Very solid, very awesome. Oh, wait. No, first I want to present it completely. So this is the front, actually. And that is the back, gives some explanation about the game. Yes, and what was a quite interesting feature was you can do your own missions. You have an editor to make own missions in your open world, and you can share it actually with people online, you know, who had the same game. That was quite interesting, you know. I think even GTA never had this kind of stuff. Yeah, so, yeah, like I said, this is a plastic sleeve, really good quality, can't complain about that. The front has this 3D image, and that is cool. I like that. This is an upgrade compared with the special edition of the first game, because at the end this is just flat, you know. So this is way nicer, and yeah. So the back looks like that, and this has this feel. Wait, I make a comparison like with this one, you know. So they kept really the design of the first one, and I like that. So when you open it, and wait, first I take the stuff out. It looks like that. That's cool also. And wait, let me take the game out. And the inside is like this. And this is cool. So basically it's almost like the first game, you know, when we talk about the structure from the inside. Just the Blu-ray is in a different place. But this is not a big thing or a problem in this case. Yeah, so what do you get actually with the special edition? I mean, besides the game, you get the menu, and this is straightforward. It explains the storyline, how you play the game, the control schemes, things like that, you know, and the karma system, that is really important. And what is cool also, they explain here how you create your own missions actually, and how you share this with people online. Yeah, through the PlayStation Network. Yeah, and the only special thing is what you, what you get is, you get a special ability, what is exclusive with this one, you know, so in-game stuff, and special outfit. That's it. No soundtrack CD, no art book. So this is a real bummer, I think, because I really like art books, and besides that, hey, this is a special edition. Yeah, okay, special edition. I can see that with the packaging. But when we talk about the content, you just get digital stuff. And I'm not a huge fan for this kind of things, you know. I want a soundtrack CD, I want art books, postcards, things like that. That really belongs in a special edition, I think. Yeah. So compared with the first one, I must admit this is yeah, a downfall, a small downfall. But when this got released, this was a full price game. I mean, compared with the original game, so you didn't have to pay anything more just because of the special edition at the same price like the standard version. The value of this one is now 15 euros, so this is way cheaper than Infamous 1. Yeah, and you can do nothing wrong in this case if you are collecting stuff like that. And if we talk about the gaming experience, that is still an awesome game. Later, Sucker Punch continued Infamous with the third part on the PlayStation 4. That was a launch title, and later they released and standalone DLC what called First Light also. That was still nice, had an open world feeling also, but when we talk about the storyline, the third game was yeah, the quality of the storyline was worse than the second part actually. So yeah. But beside that, I mean, as a collector for retail games, I can really recommend both of these games. If you ask me which one is my favorite, I go always for this one, yeah. And maybe if you like open world games with superhero power stuff, then you can do nothing wrong with these games. The last game for this video is a bundle also, and that is Red Steel 2 for the Nintendo Wii. This game got released in 2009 and was developed, you guys can see that, by Ubisoft. It's a successor of the first Red Steel, what was a launch title in 2006. Beside Far Cry, Red Steel was one of the first-person shooter experience on the Nintendo console, and it showed a lot of potential with the motion sensor technology. Beside that, also the limitations. I mean, if we talk about, I mean, this is a straight first-person shooter. You move from A to B. You have a lot of guns what you can use, and if you get used to the controls, then it's quite fluid. It's quite good. You know, it's nothing groundbreaking, and once in a while you meet a boss character, and then you must use your katana in a sword fight. Then you have a limited arena, and you can move in this arena, and yeah, and then you must really move your Wii remote like a sword. But because of the limitation of the Wii remote, this is impossible. So you play the sword fight is a combination of button combinations with movement. So so I think you had something like 20 special abilities what you could use, you know, certain slashes or stabs. So this was quite limited. And I was really disappointed in this case. Yeah. But I mean, if you back then, I mean, when this game got released, this was a solid title, and yeah, it was really fun, you know. But I expected a little bit more. Both games doesn't have so much in common besides the gameplay and the name, because Red Steel 1 is a modern first-person shooter, plays in our modern times, and it's a Yakuza game. This one is plays in an alternative Wild West scenario with an Asian influence. If we talk about the graphic design, both games are different. This has a more grittier, darker look, a realistic look. This one has cel-shaded graphics. So, and I can tell you guys already, I mean, if I had to choose one of these games already, I go already with the second part, because all the problems what you had in the first game, the developer really diminished these problems. The sword fight is better, the gameplay is more fluent, the graphic, I mean, the cel shading look really fits more the scenario, and this game, Red Steel 2, is a better experience than the first one. Yes, you had two options to buy the game back when it came out. You could buy this just normal version, or this bundle with the Wii Motion Plus. Of course, if you bought the normal version, you paid, I think, what was 50 euros, something like that. And then you had to buy the Wii Motion Plus separately. That was 20 euro also. This bundle was 60 euro on release, and I think if you are a smart gamer, you would always go with a bundle like that because you save €10, better than nothing. But then you have everything what you need to play the game. Yes. What is really important, the Wii Motion Plus is required to play the game, and it was one of the first who showed the potential of this add-on. This is an add-on, I soon show this, an official one from Nintendo. Yes. This is the front. I think it looks really cool. It sets already the mood, what you can expect, that you play this character and that this Wild West scenario, and you see already this cell shading presentation. That is nice. Yes, the side is nothing spectacular. It looks like that. And this is the back of it. This is, game what you just it doesn't have any kind of multiplayer, unfortunately. Yeah, so, and beside that, I mean, if you play the storyline, if you finish the storyline, there's nothing what you can actually discover, or you could just play this game again with harder difficulty if you want that. Yeah, here's some catchphrases and some screenshots. Nothing spectacular in this case. If we open the bundle, actually, you get the Wii Motion Plus with the protection thingy, some health information, what you always have with Nintendo products, and the game itself. And first, I want to pay the attention to the standard game. The standard game really looks like that. It's a standard V cover, so nothing extraordinary in this case. And the back looks the same like here also. Yes. What you have, of course, is a booklet. And this booklet is really recommended to read because it tells you a lot of things about how you play the game. I mean, for the game you need the Wii remote and the nunchuck, of course. And here they tell you how you do the movement. Stuff like that. A strong attack, a step attack, a vertical attack, or a horizontal attack. I mean, yes, you have the tutorial in the game also, but it takes some time to get used to the controls. And if you are still not sure about that, you can always use this menu, you know, to see what kind of movement you need to do in this case. And here they tell you about the gunplay. And I must admit that was nice about the Red Steel 2. Also, he had a lot of configurations with the pointer sensitivity and stuff like that. Yes. Here they talk about the storyline, your character, some character, what you can visit, things like that. Because you have a store, yeah. So from when we talk about the gameplay itself, it's the same like the first game. You move from A to B, you shoot everything down, and once in a while there is a certain enemy what you can just defeat with your sword. What is cool also, while you are shooting, you can use your sword at the same time. You know, this is quite innovative, and this gives a very interesting. This has some kind of Hong Kong Hollywood style, if you guys know what I mean. Yeah, and here are all the secret maneuvers, what you learn actually. And this is our button combinations also. So, for example, if you want to complete the rush, you must pray A and move the Wii remote forward. Then you do this certain move, what they will show you then in the game. You have a lot of secret moves, and they have stupid names like the Shot, the Matador, the Storm, the Ram, the Crush. Yeah. You have some special abilities also. It's the dragon, it's the eagle, it's the bear, the tiger, the cobra, stuff like that. Yeah. And that is actually about the menu. It's a little bit short, but it gives a lot of insight about the gameplay. Yes. And now let's look at the accessory. And that is the Wii Motion Plus and the protection case. Let me get this thing first out of here. When I always, come out. When I always touch this protective plastic thing for the Wii remote, this has this vibe of a vibrator or something like that. So yeah, this is the Wii Motion Plus. That is everything. It's quite light, it's not really heavy. And you attach this on the Wii remote. And this is the Wii remote. And you attach this here. Normally you connect the nunchuck here. So what you do is, you do like that, and then there's a switch to lock on the Wii Motion Plus. I mean, if you want to release that, actually you press both these buttons, and then it's very easily, it gets loose. But when you lock it, it's really tight, and that is nice if you move a lot. What is cool also, because you have this extension now, the Wii remote gets a little bit longer. That is nice also if you have bigger hands. And in this case, I think the Wii remote is, for example, if I have the, wait, I'll show you guys this. When I have the Wii remote like that, my thumb is here. So my hand is a little bit too big. So, but with the Wii Motion Plus now, this is really perfect now. I will lock this now in place, and then the remote is like that. And this is really good. I mean, it feels really good. It's not too heavy. It's, I mean, you really almost doesn't notice the remote. I mean, if we talk about the weight. If you guys ask now where you connect the nunchuck, actually there's a pass-through, and this is here. You know, you just open this, and then there's a pass-through for the nunchuck. Both the devices then suck energy from the Wii remote, and that actually doesn't influence so much the battery life of the Wii remote, at least in my experience. Yeah, and like that you play the game actually. And now with this accessory, the movement is accurate. So when I really do like that, then you move your sword like this. When you step forward, your character is doing this. So really, this is what this finally is the technology what Nintendo us promised. So yeah, unfortunately, not so much game uses the Wii Motion Plus. Just I think 1 or 2 games from Nintendo. I think one is even Wii Party or something. Yeah. Unfortunately, other developer doesn't use the potential of the Wii Motion Plus because Nintendo didn't inform them about the accessory back then. Yeah, but when we talk about the value of this bundle, I mean, in a condition like it is now, you pay something like 20 euro, and that is really okay. I mean, you get the full game and you get the accessory also, of course, the Wii remote not. So you can do nothing wrong in this case. And if you want to have a solid first-person shooter experience with a good motion control, then Red Steel 2 is your game. Yes. And that's with this video. If you guys like my content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, I would be happy about that also. See you next time, and don't forget to support your local video game store. Servus!